much for coming out and for joining the campus parents tonight in our efforts to help those who are suffering from Ebola in the Western Africa. Your presence tonight is actually a glowing representation of what a group of passionate people can do when they put their minds to something. To those that have helped us organize this event, I would really like to say thank you. I'm going to start with our advisor, Sherry. I would also like to thank Chris Stork of Student Engagement. Stephanie Goldenberg of Service Learning. She's also been a really great resource for us. Dr. Ben Coley of Nimba County, Liberia. He's been such an amazing resource as far as information goes. He's actually living in Liberia right now as a doctor, so I really lean on him for information as well. I would like to thank both Henry Hali and Fatoma Bolay Jr. Those are my parents, guys. Of the nonprofit organization Bolay Worldwide for making this happen with us. I would also like to thank the performers for coming out tonight and lending their talent to us. Without us having to pay them. They're volunteering their time and their money. What am I saying? Not their money, their talent. So it's really, really amazing. I would also like to thank my fellow members of the Campus Current, our students' brand newspaper, because they've been so amazing, so resourceful, so purposeful in this effort, both as far as the newspaper goes and as well as this event goes. I've really leaned on them in this time. And I would like you guys to join me in a round of applause for everyone that has joined us today. Now, did you know that more than 3,000 people have died in the U.S. of Ebola since it was first reported? And that according to the World Health Organization, that number could exceed 20,000 by the year end. And that in Maryland alone, nearly 1,000 people have died of Ebola since it was first announced, not including the number of undocumented deaths that has flown under the radar. I think by now you guys are all staring at me like, is she confused? Is she crazy? Does she not know the difference between Africa and America? Don't be alarmed. I got a C in geography. I know where America is, and I know where Africa is too. And I know where you guys are located. The United States' first case of Ebola was announced on Tuesday by the CDC. Ebola virus is a severe disease with a fatality rate of up to 90%, according to CDC. Ebola is very much similar to HIV and AIDS in that it is transmitted through human-to-human contact with blood or bodily fluids. It can be controlled, it is preventable, but like AIDS, once it finds a home, it is not easily contained or cured. Imagine what our lives would be like if that report came to us morning, noon, and night for the next 10 months. And with each new report, the numbers continue to increase so high that some of us eventually will become immune to the idea of death and sickness and illness and poverty and the stench of our own brothers and sisters lying on the ground, completely paralyzed from this illness. Imagine our lives so upturned by this virus that the idea of sitting in a room like this with a group of people in a compact area in this community college as something that cannot be explored.
Texas, Dallas.
Where did the victim that brought U.S. to America come from?
Liberia.
Liberia.
And where were you when you found out? You don't have to answer that out loud. Think about it. Personally, I was headed off campus when I found out. After about 2 to 3 months of obsessing over the Ebola virus, worrying about my friends and family, I had taken a step back from following the news. I ignored the topic as best as I could. And around 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, I was walking through the cafeteria with a boatload of things on when I saw the TV screen flashing the news. And all I was wondering was which Western African country the unnamed at the time adult that brought Ebola to America was from when Al Sharpton finally said, Liberia. And then after that, it was like he wouldn't stop saying it. Liberia is a third world country. Liberia has really been struggling. Liberia has the most amount of deaths and cases. In that time, I had placed all of my things on the floor, sat down, and was trying to stifle back my worries and fears, but mainly my shame. When a middle-aged woman stopped just ahead of me, stared at the screen for a few moments, shook her head, and muttered, "Damn Africans," before storming out of the building. In that moment, my shame went to rage. All I could think was, what did you do? What did you do to help control this disease? When all they could do was keep their messy hands and infect others. I was born on June 16, 1994 in Monrovia, Liberia. At the end of the nation's first Civil War, and I was raised during the nation's second Civil War, and I left 1 year after it was officially over. I moved up to America at the age of 8 with my family to be with my mother and father, and I've been here since. I can't tell you how damaging it is seeing all of this news and hearing all of this news. Liberia is a country that has been crippled by war and is suffering and has been suffering since the war and its aftermath. Reports before Ebola struck were not candy-coated. The people were suffering, and this new addition has and will continue to do nothing but ravage the country if we as spectators don't get up from our cushioned seats and at least try to lend a helping hand. We have the means of acting, of providing help. This is not the time to sit back and watch someone else step up. This is the time for us to step up, and while in doing so, encourage those around us to do the same. I would like to close with this quote by Desmond Tutu. If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse, and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality. I think that pretty much sums it up. Thank you guys so much for being part of the solution tonight. And with that being said, I would like to introduce David Smith. He was actually the kickoff presenter of the Year of Social Justice, which is something that AACC is trying to do this year, in more or less encouraging students to take action